I moved to the Colorado backcountry to vanish from the world. No Wi-Fi, no neighbors, just pine trees and the kind of quiet that feels like a physical weight. 3 days into my solitude, a black SUV crawled up my dirt trail. An HOA logo gleamed. On its hood, strangers with polished grins and veiled threats stepped out. They thought I'd cave. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I'd bought 60 acres of rugged Colorado forest, nestled in a valley between 2 low ridges to escape. No cell signal, no pavement, just me and the land. The nearest town was a 45-minute haul over rutted roads. I'd spent years teaching soldiers how to survive in the wild, then a decade advising companies on staying alive in remote places. This was my retirement plan. No emails, no handshakes, no HOAs. Or so I thought. On day 3, I was splitting. Logs near an old, half-collapsed hunting shack when I saw dust rising from the trail. Nobody should have been out here unless they were lost or bleeding. I dropped the axe, brushed off my hands, and headed to the gate. A glossy black SUV, maybe a Cadillac, rolled up like it owned the place. A folder with an HOA emblem sat on the hood, crisp as a battle flag. 3 people stepped out in choreographed unison. A woman, late 50s, with a platinum bob and spotless. Hiking boots led the pack. 2 men followed, one young clutching a tablet, the other in a suit with a badge that read Legal Counsel, Pinecrest HOA. "You Samuel Carter?" The woman asked, her voice syrupy but sharp, leaned on the gate. "Who's asking?" She smiled like she was selling me a timeshare. "I'm Linda Warwick, president of the Pinecrest Homeowners Association. We're here to serve you with a notice." The tablet guy set the folder on the gate post. "Claim for $50,000 in damages," Linda said. "Due to your purchase of land zoned for our community's expansion." I stared. "What are you talking about?" She didn't blink. "This land was designated for our Eco-Preserve Zone B for 5 years. Your purchase disrupted our plans." I snorted. "And you should have bid higher at the county auction. I've got the deed, title, and surveys filed. You've got nothing?" Linda's smile tightened. "We're here to settle this amicably. The community needs this land for environmental goals." I didn't budge. "You're on my property. You've got no claim. Leave." The tablet guy started recording with his phone. "For arbitration purposes," he said. I shrugged. "Film away. It'll show how ridiculous this is." Linda stepped closer. "We're not leaving without an agreement." I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. "Sheriff's Department," the dispatcher answered. "Trespassers on my land," I said. "They're claiming it's theirs because they lost an auction. They're refusing to leave." Linda's jaw twitched. "Deputies en route," the dispatcher said. "Stay clear if you feel unsafe." "Just irritated," I replied. As we waited, one of the men launched a drone that hummed over my clearing like a giant mosquito. I filmed it right back. When the sheriff's truck rolled up, Deputy Harlona, weathered guy I'd met during the land, transfer glanced at Linda's folder, then at me. "She part of your HOA?" "Nope," I said. "Private land, county approved." He turned. "To Linda, you're trespassing. You've been asked to leave." Linda's face soured, but the suit gave her a look. They packed up, the drone zipped into its case, and the SUV vanished into the trees. The tablet guy handed me an envelope before they left. "We'll be in touch," he said. I tossed it into my fire pit and watched it burn. 2 days later, I was shoring up the shack's foundation, crumbling from years of snow and neglect, when I heard gravel crunch again. A white county truck pulled up, marked Fire Safety Division, Region 3. A man in his 50s stepped out, clipboard in hand, khakis too pristine for the woods. His belt buckle read Colorado Fire Authority. He didn't seem hostile, just, "Bored, Mr. Carter? Got a complaint about an unsafe structure in a fire-prone zone? Reports of campfires, propane storage, and brush hazards?" "No fires, no propane," I said. "Just me and a shovel." I handed him my pre-filed repair notice and fire mitigation plan, submitted the day I bought the land. Military habit, paperwork before problems. He skimmed it, eyebrows rising. "You've already declared the repairs?" "Yup. and you've marked burn restrictions. Everyone. He walked the property, snapping photos of my tarp roof and cleared brush piles. No violations, he said, scratching his clipboard. Reports closed. I nodded. HOA tip, gave a half smile. They keep us busy. As he drove off, I snapped a photo of his plate. Not paranoid, just prepared. That night I spotted a new sign at the property's edge. A green metal placard staked into my side of the tree line. Pinecrest HOA expansion zone. Access restricted. It hadn't been there at dawn. I grabbed a sledgehammer, ripped it out, and burned it in the pit. The next morning, I nailed up my own sign. Private land. No HOA. Trespassers prosecuted. Red paint. Floodlight above it. Message sent by. Week 3, I knew the HOA wasn't bluffing. They were relentless. But nothing prepared me for the email that hit my inbox on a Thursday morning. I was sipping coffee, sketching solar panel plans, when my phone pinged. Subject, Pinecrest HOA membership confirmation. The attached PDF claimed I'd joined their association and agreed to pay $50,000 for disrupted development. At the bottom was my signature, a damn close fake. The loops, the slant, even the pause and the R of Carter. But I hadn't signed a thing. My pulse hammered. This wasn't harassment anymore. It was fraud. I forwarded it to my lawyer, Ellen Marsh, with the subject, "They've lost it." She called immediately. Forged signature. Yup. That's a felony in Colorado, she said. Send me everything. Headers, metadata, the works. I'll file with the sheriff and county clerk by noon. That evening, we confirmed the document was fake. No county record, no registry trace. Ellen drafted an injunction and a cease and desist to block the HOA from spreading the lie. The next day, I checked their website. Front page, under community updates, new member supports conservation. They claimed I'd eagerly joined and backed their eco-vision. A stock photo of a grinning, clean-shaven guy, definitely not me, was captioned Samuel. Carter, new resident. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was unhinged. I archived the page and sent it to Ellen. She called back, voice like steel. We're filing for criminal impersonation, forgery, and harassment. This ends now. A Canyon Valley news reporter called later, tipped off by the HOA SPR stunt. I gave one quote. They forged my signature and lied about my involvement. They'll answer for it. I wasn't looking for a spotlight, but I'd light a fuse. If I had to. 4 nights later. My phone buzzed at 2:15 a.m. A trail cam on the west side caught a figure in black, tactical gear, probing the shack's back door with a flashlight and a tool. He checked the lock, spoke into a phone, then slipped into the trees. I saved the footage, time-stamped it, and sent it to Ellen and the sheriff. By morning, I'd reinforced the door with a steel latch and double bolts. On a perimeter sweep, I found a drone nestled in a pine, its camera trained on my camp. I bagged it and stored it in a lockbox. The next day, another drone dropped a flyer on my porch. Pinecrest HOA prevails. You are not exempt. I photographed it, then burned it. That evening, 3 men in HOA security jackets showed up with bolt cutters and a crowbar, eyeing my tool shed. I hit the floodlights 5,000 lumens and they froze. One looked straight into a camera and muttered, "Damn it." They ran, tripping over roots. I stitched the footage together, clear faces, truck plates, tools in hand. I sent it to Ellen, the sheriff, and the news. At the sheriff's office. Handed over a USB drive with everything, drone photos, break-in attempts, forged documents. You want this public? Deputy Harlan asked. I want every neighbor too. Know what they're pulling, I said. This stops here. The tipping point came when I found a hidden camera in a fake birdhouse, aimed at my cabin. 2 more were tucked in trees, streaming to an HOA server. I bagged them, labeled them, and called Ellen. The news had already run my drone footage, and social media was exploding. I recorded a statement for a local radio station. I'm Samuel Carter, legal owner of 60 acres. The Pinecrest HOA has stalked, harassed, and forged documents to steal my land. I'm not paying, I'm not leaving, and I'm not scared. The story went viral. 7,000 shares by nightfall. Messages poured in from HOA victims nationwide. Families fined into ruin. Retirees bullied over lawn ornaments. A brick smashed one of my cameras that evening, thrown from a truck registered to Linda's nephew. I added it to the evidence pile. Ellen filed an emergency injunction, and the sheriff served it to the HOA's office. Their website vanished by morning. Their social pages went dark. A courier dropped a one-line letter from their law firm. We cease all claims and contact regarding your property. No apology, just surrender. I called Ellen. Sue them anyway. She laughed so hard I thought the line would break. The courtroom smelled like old coffee and bureaucracy. Ellen, cool as ever, sat beside me. Across the room, Linda, her lawyer Grayson, and their surveyor looked like they'd rehearsed indignation. Judge Clara, a no-nonsense woman with a pen-chewing habit, ran a tight ship. The HOA's case was a mess. Vague community harm. Claims a fake eco-plan. Clara cut them off. That's not law. That's feelings. Next. Ellen laid out our case. Auction records. Title. Forged PDF with a handwriting expert's affidavit. Then the video's nighttime prowler, drone drops, security team with crowbars. The knockout was an audio clip from Linda's first visit. Pay $50,000 or we don't leave. You're in over your head. Linda paled. Grayson stammered. Clara didn't blink. You forged documents, surveilled private land, and sent goons to intimidate. Now you want what? Sympathy. She granted a permanent injunction and sent Linda to the DA for forgery, trespass, and threats. The room erupted as cuffs snapped on. Outside, reporters swarmed. I gave one line, you can't steal what's mine, and you can't scare someone who's faced worse than you. That night, I sipped whiskey in my cabin. The quiet finally mine again. But the HOA didn't quit. Anonymous letters arrived. The board's bigger than her. This land isn't yours. A car idled at my gate one night, lights off, then peeled out when I hit the floods. Then the county zoning board sent a notice, claiming my boundaries might overlap a protected corridor. Ellen called it a delay tactic. We hired a surveyor who found a hidden fire road on my north edge, tire tracks leading to HOA land. They're angling for an easement, he warned. I doubled down, wiring buried sensors to a local server with backups in a concrete vault. 2 weeks later, 3 trucks rolled in Linda's old crew, unloading fence posts. I activated my drone and loudspeaker. You're trespassing. This is recorded. They flashed a fake county permit. I demanded a warrant. They smirked, but left when I mentioned deputies. The sheriff arrived, took my footage, and Ellen. Secured a no-entry order with felony penalties. We went federal, conspiracy, forgery, racketeering. One contractor had a rap sheet for impersonation, tying the HOA to RICO charges. Their board collapsed. Linda faced more jail time. Grayson lost his license. The surveyor was arrested for falsifying records. The press dubbed it the wilderness. War. I didn't care for the name. I just wanted my land. Today the cabin's fortified, new roof, solar grid, steel-reinforced doors. A sign at the gate reads, Private Land. No HOA. Trespassers face felony. The HOA's insurance paid $350,000 in damages. I haven't touched it. Amani doesn't buy the sound of wind through pines or the peace of a world without liars.